How goes it, everybody? I'm back with another indie game. This is Super House of Dead Ninjas. Apparently there is actually a regular House of Dead Ninjas, so it's not just a pointless, sarcastic add-on to the title, I suppose. So what is this game about? Well, it's sort of in the vein of games like Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden, and it's very, very good. Also, it's published by Adult Swim, for some reason. They actually make pretty decent games, or at least publish pretty decent games. Anyways, I'm going to hop right into the game and kind of show you what it's all about. So before you actually hop into the dungeon, as it were, there's a variety of different equipment that you can select, and this stuff is all unlockable. So, you know, if I want to unlock this, basically I have to defeat 2 minions and a certain boss in one go. Defeat Horror, who I'm assuming is another boss. You know, kill 10 enemies hanging off the wall. Burn yourself to death. You know, it's varied. Some of them are more difficult to get than others. And all these weapons do actually affect how the game plays. You know, they're not just cosmetic. There's certain upgrades as well that you can get. Again, you know, you unlock them by completing certain objectives. Different power-ups that you can collect in the level, as well as different outfits. So there's a good amount of replay value just from, you know, unlocking stuff. But let's hop into the actual game. So you can choose from normal and hard. As far as I can tell, the only real difference is that you don't get any continues in hard. Normally you can continue when you die 3 times. After that, you're done. And also, to unlock the true ending, you have to beat it on hard. Have not beaten it on hard yet. I have beaten it on normal, so... let's go ahead and just start at the beginning, and we'll go from there. So, this is what the game looks like. As you can see, it's pretty old school, but not in a bad way. A lot of games seem to come out nowadays that are just sort of retro-looking for the sake of being retro-looking, or, you know, because they couldn't develop it looking and have it look good. But this is a game that looks good and is retro. It very much plays like an old school game as well, so I'm definitely okay with the art style. More than okay, I actually very much like it. So you have a few different attacks here. First one's just the basic slash attack, being this. You can throw a projectile weapon. You also have bombs. Bottom left corner, you will see that for projectiles and bombs, I have a limited supply, although you can pick more up throughout the levels. Sword obviously doesn't run out. And the goal of the game is pretty much to make your way to the bottom of the tower. There are going to be some bosses on the way, but we will worry about that when we get to it. Now, you do die in one hit, so this game can get a little bit intense at times. But it's one of those games that is hard but fair, which is something I always like. You know, the worst thing you can have in your game is for it to be unfair, but hard but fair is definitely something very good. A lot of modern games, and again, this is not supposed to be bashing modern games or anything, or saying things were better in the old days, but, you know, a lot of games nowadays are just really, really easy. And this game certainly isn't. As far as the controls go, they're very, very tight, very responsive, which is good. That's as they should be. Anytime you die, it's pretty much going to be your fault, so that's always a plus for me. Now, one thing I didn't mention yet is that the levels in the game are all, to an extent, randomly generated. So, you know, there are certain configurations that you can get that, you know, will be similar. But the level's never going to be the same, you know, 2 times in a row. Which makes it quite a bit more interesting. Actually, I've not died yet. rather surprised. You know, I'm decent at this game, but I'm not amazing at it. Well, at any rate, this is only the first part of the tower, so it gets harder. Another thing I didn't mention, you see that timer in the bottom right corner? If that gets down to 0, you die. So, things get a little bit intense. Alright, so this is an example of a boss character. Whoops. There's a death. These guys can be difficult, mostly because they, as I said, kill you in one hit. But most of them are not too bad. Alright, so there's part 1 of the dungeon. Apparently this is going to be more of a Let's Play than a first impressions video. Oh well. You'll notice that your timer does refill when you get to a new area, or if you pick up a clock power-up, so... in that way, you know, continuing to run through the level will usually mean that you won't end up dying. The power-ups that increase the timer are pretty abundant. Now, another pretty cool thing about this is I stated that it was randomly generated as far as, you know, the levels go. But actually, even the look of the levels will change, so not just the layout. Like, for instance, it was sort of grassy and organic looking a minute ago. You know, certain times it'll look like a dungeon, at certain times it'll look like a cave, sometimes it'll look grassy, and it changes every time. Again, you know, just making it a little bit more interesting. You're not seeing the same scenery all the time. By the way, these letters that I'm collecting, as far as I can tell, those are used for accessing the extra dungeon, as it were. You basically earn a certain number of... Whoa, that guy almost got me. You earn a certain number of these letters to spell something out, and then it grants you access to it. You may have noticed the enemy variety is actually pretty good, which again is something I'm very impressed by. Did I say this yet? It's available for $6.99 on Steam. Just came out this week, so it's actually on sale right now. So I'd highly recommend you check it out. But, whoa. But, you know, for a game that inexpensive, you're getting a lot of content here, and a lot of quality content. Okay. That's how you deal with that. So you notice the letters on the side disappeared. That means I gained a ticket or whatever to access the secret dungeon. Maybe we'll check that out. See, now we're in like sort of a lava area. Whoops. Killed by the pink frog. Beautiful. Okay, boss number 2. This guy's a little bit difficult. Mostly because of that. You also have a magic attack. Maybe I'll show that off now. It's more useful for regular enemies than for bosses, honestly. Sorry if I'm getting quiet, I'm kind of concentrating. I find this guy difficult at least. Gotcha. Alright. So that's part 2. The dungeon is divided up into 3 parts. I guess it's 4 if you're on hard mode. Whoops. I'm trying to think what else there is to really say. Hey, don't do that. What else there is to say about this game? It's got a pretty good sense of humor as well. If you see the names of some of the, like the mini-bosses and such. It doesn't remotely take itself seriously, which again is always good in my book. When you do start out with this game, you might find yourself getting a little bit frustrated, just because it seems like you're dying a ton. But once you get the controls down, it's really responsive, as I've said. I guess we're just gonna go all the way to the end, assuming I can make it. Because I'm playing on normal, I do actually have continues. Whoops. I don't know that there's too much else to say about it. It's just really good. You know, you kind of know what you're in for. You know, seeing this. Just a very good sort of old school ninja game. Not a stealthy ninja game, but kill every single person in the room sort of ninja game. Whoops, spikes. You'll notice your time actually comes back when you die as well, so it's not like you're gonna die and then come back, you know, and die again immediately. For instance, that guy right there is named Skinny Dip. So, yeah, they're not taking themselves seriously. Alrighty. Oh, my time is about to run out, but there is a clock over here. Although, the guy still killed me. We'll go ahead and continue here. This is rather terrifying, by the way. So you'll notice you basically just continue right where you left off. Hey, I unlocked something. Very cool. We'll have to check that out in a second. As I said, I do want to show off some of the other weapons and equipment. But, whoa, hey. Not a fan of those guys. For now, though, we'll just keep on going until we're through it. Whoops. We gotta be getting pretty close, yeah. 30 floors left. And the spikes again. Well done. Okay. 10 floors left. Once again, the pink frog sends me to my death. Alright. Yes, this is Hentai, the one-armed ninja. Whoops. This guy's a little bit more difficult because you can only hit him with your sword, which usually results in that. Whoops. More often than not, you end up accidentally just running into him, which is not so good. Alright. This guy's actually not too difficult. He's got a pretty simple pattern. You hurt him by attacking this thing. Then he opens himself up, shoots out some bombs. That's about it. Pretty simple. Oh, I couldn't remember if that actually hurt you or not. Apparently it does. Hopefully I don't end up losing on this part. Close. We're close. I should probably stop running right into those enemies. Yeah, we should have him just fine. He's got 2 hits left. Oh dear. Close one. So, were we on hard mode, I would assume that we would keep going now, but, alas. So that's the game. And I think you have a pretty good idea of what it's about at this point. What did I get? Allows you to move through water more quickly. Okay. So this is stuff that you can pick up throughout the level as power-ups, just sort of random stuff. So let's go ahead and hop into the bonus dungeon, and I will throw on random mode. So hopefully we'll get different stuff than what I was using. Transdimensional leakage. You'll notice that this area is a little bit bizarre. And this, I think, was not in the original game. A little bit disorientating. What in the world is that? I'm not completely sure what I can break and what I can't. So this is another weapon. You'll notice I'm using these little ricochet things instead of shurikens now. Probably my favorite setup that I found thus far involves, there's a special set of shurikens, which are the ones I was using. They basically will decapitate enemies instantly. So it's like a one-shot on most enemies. Those ones are pretty good. Now we're in square roots and such, apparently. Oh, dear. I don't know what that is. Let's kill it with magic. Or not. Let's just run, I guess. Whoops. Well, there you go. That's gonna be about it.
Game over.
So, Super House of Dead Ninjas. It's a pretty simple game. Knows what it wants to do and does it exceptionally well. I would definitely recommend checking it out. As I said, it's available on Steam right now for $4.89 because it's on sale. It's regular $6.99, well worth that price. Heck, it even comes with a comic book, which is kind of awesome. Definitely worth checking out. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Later.